Hey guys, try 3. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I'm sorry. Don't see anybody coming on yet. So let's see. I'm showing that I've got 3 bars. So hopefully it'll continue on. I don't know if it's going to work. She moved mountains. Thank you for being first. Back over. Is everything looking okay or is it buffering? Can you guys hear me? Is it buffering or anything? Okay, thank you guys. We'll let everybody try to get back on. I'm sorry for all the trouble tonight, guys. I don't know. I live way up in the mountains. I have no cell phone service. The internet we have is doing okay. The Bee Lady Apiary, I'm just using the YouTube um, live stream application. That's what I'm using. So um, it's not the weather here. It's just um, poor internet. So that's what we're doing. I just put the computer right in the front door. I'm literally could walk outside if I want to right now with the door open. But I mean, that's the funny part. When it died a minute ago, it had 4 bars. So I don't know if it's got to do with the live stream app here that's going on. Yeah, it's worked really good for us, Bee Lady Apiary. I mean, you can ask most of these people that have been here. It's been really good. Grandma Sue Happy, he tries, but guess what? These were made for the man upstairs. And I know that sounds bad, but my God's a warrior, and I'm a warrior of God. So come on, Satan. I got something for you. What browser are we using? I'm going through Google. Yes, he did for a little while. Traveling for fun. I need to come over. Do you guys have a channel? Traveling for fun? Hey, ma'am. Sorry about that. Not yet. Okay. Get one started. We'll come over and check you out. The busy little house. Thank you. The busy little house. What is your first name? I don't want to give out too much information here. I know I already know, but I'm telling you what, you have some absolutely gorgeous children. They are precious. Karen, okay. I like to use your channel names because it helps put it out there to other people watching later. But I like knowing who I'm talking to too. Not catching that one, Curl. I might be going and reading into another conversation there. We got 19 back on here. That's pretty good. Harvesting the bounty. Yeah, round 3. Here we go. We're up to 18. We got up there pretty good a minute ago. I think we had up 69 there a little bit ago. Bears creation, maybe open YouTube in Firefox or UC browser. I don't think it would help any up here, honestly. Um, this We're supposed to be running at 12, and we're running at about 7 on a good night. And then they just told us that they could get us up to 24, and it was actually less money. And they came up, looked at everything, and the guy said that we were already cranked up higher than what we should be. So he needed to crank it down to make it actually be more efficient. And they're working through all that good stuff. They just put brand new internet up through here. And we're trying to work it out. Hopefully, if they get it to that point, it'll be good to go. Hey, Reclaiming the Farm, appreciate you coming over. So hopefully this will hold on. That one almost went an hour without messing anything up. So the first one was like 10 minutes, I think. So, but so we were talking about people when you're together with your significant other, walking together, and we're talking about that team part when you both are together right now, of walking in a situation where you're keeping your eyes up, you're looking around, situational awareness as well as if you're an individual walking. But if you are armed, keeping your dominant weapon side hand free. So if you're walking holding someone's hand, you're here. Also setting up a game plan if you're both carrying, that one goes to the back, one goes to the front, and you're kind of covering each other, and you can still kind of touch each other's hands, but you also have to train being able to shoot that way. Do I have any opinions about using bear mace for protection? I learned in the chat, not related to homesteaders, that it is used situation goes 30 feet. All right. So here's the thing with using any type of mace, bear spray, CS gas, or anything like that, guys. You need to train with it. And most states, if you're carrying a certain percentage of CS gas or mace or tear gas, you have to be certified to carry it or you're breaking the law. And I would suggest that you go through that class, and here is why. They are going to spray you across the top of your brow, because when you spray it, it comes back at you. I don't care if the wind's blowing away from you or not. Anybody in the military knows this. It's going to spray back in your face, and you're going to have to be able to fight or flight with that happening. And that's if you're running and it affects your respiratory, it affects your sinus cavities, it affects your eyes. Okay? So keep that in mind when you're talking about mace and stuff. You need to go through training for that. Uh, Not necessarily the busy little house. You can still fight, but it's also knowing where you're at and that 3 foot protective zone. You see me do this when I'm talking about stuff like that. That's instinctive. This is my thing. If I'm blind, I'm here. I'm protecting my face. I'm necessarily not going to have my fingers open like this, but I'm going to have them down. I'll have them cupped, and I can respond to whatever is happening to me pretty effectively. So if you're in your home, you can keep it, but remember, you have children. If you have children that have asthma or you have young children, that's a bad day, guys. That's a really bad day. Yeah, you do have to wait 30 feet for them to get in your house and be able to shoot, and then you're in a confined area using mace and pepper spray. A lot of police officers really hate doing and using pepper spray, because once they spray that individual then has to get in their car, and you still have the residual. Even if you clean it off and everything, you still have it there. It burns your skin, it burns your face, your eyes, any of those sensitive areas. Hey guys, anything can work in a pinch. A rock, a stick, your thumb. I would love, maybe we'll do, maybe not next year, because I'm running the kids area at the shindig. Maybe we'll do, I don't know if they'd want to do that or not. I'll have to talk to Jess and I. Maybe we'll set up something at one of these things for a homesteading personal protection class. So in my home, I can protect myself, right? I can put on goggles next to the fighting for my life invaded me. Well, where do you live at the bee apiary, the bee lady apiary? You need to look at your state laws. Most states have a castle law now where you can protect yourself within your home and your vehicle and on your property as well. So it all depends on where you're at. California has some crazy rules. New York has even crazier rules. So it all depends on where you're at. Yeah, castle law is what it's under. I do suggest, if anybody wants training, you're going to hear me say the word training a lot in any of this stuff. If you want to get in depth with the things we're talking tonight, Go online and look under NRA. I know some of you may not like the NRA, but they are great for training. Go on and look for a class called Refuse to be a Victim. Refuse to be a Victim. It's an NRA class. It's a long class. It's like 8 hours, but they go into way more detail than what I'm talking about now. I'm giving you kind of the brush over. Carol says from Fish's Loaves Garden Home with Mama Wood says that they have the stand your ground law. And yes. Well, the Bee Lady Apiary, I'd rather be judged than carried. And I'll leave it to you at that. So you just have to look at firearm owner identification card. I'm reading into comments again, guys. Sorry. You're welcome, the Bee Lady Apiary. Training is the key, guys. You do not want to. There we go. Mims just got it listed up there. Refuse to be a victim. NRA.com. It is a long class, but it is very informational. I mean, they're going to go into actually what types of lights work the best, where to place lights, how to install these lights, where to buy certain long-thorned, hardy thorn plants that still flower and make your house look beautiful. They're going to go through having a safe room in your house that you can go to. I mean, it is a wonderful, wonderful course. And if you have someone going off to college, male or female, it's a great class to take them to because it teaches them all the skills they're going to need to learn as an adult, going into a position where they may be living by themselves for the first time. And it actually has a section on college living and dorm living or in an apartment for the first time. So keep that up. Keep it looking at. Anna's my hero. I'm telling y'all, she's on it. She moves mountains. You and Mama Bear are right there too. I haven't seen Samson's farm tonight. So short ladies actually have an advantage, the Bee Lady Apiary, using your leverage. I'm only 5'7". I'm short. Someone mentioned on Hey, It's a Good Life the other day. It was the Haskins family blog, said that they met somebody that they thought was, when they met him, was way shorter than what they thought they were going to be. And I think it was this guy. Because I'm short. I'm about as wide as I am tall. So all you Queen Heifer applicants out there, understand I'm a very short individual. Hoot Nanny Homestead. I love that comment. The safest place in your house is behind Hoot, my devil dog. There ain't many places that you can get you can get in better protection than behind a good old devil dog. All right, so that's the basics on where I want to go with the personal protection tonight. Send me some questions. The Bee Lady Apiaries asked some good ones. Who else has got some good questions here? And another thing, do you think for what we're doing in this forum that I took it too far or didn't take it far enough? Okay, I hope I don't knock us off. Somebody said it's buffering again. I hope it doesn't do it. Hootenanny says not far enough. You think I'm fine? I'm not worried about getting demonetized for a view if we make it to that number where we're monetized. That's not why I'm doing this. Um, I'm not that guys. I'm not here for making money on YouTube. I'm here to help people and spread the good word. If I ever start getting some monetization from YouTube, it'll go straight back into producing content and better content for you guys, and it'll also go into an IRA if it's ever got that big for Elin, for whatever she wants to do in the future. I heard one of these info shows that ladies, we start down low and shoot up. Is that true? Are you talking about with a firearm, the Bee Lady Apiary? Okay, so you are talking about a firearm. I teach 24 by 36. And that's the average chest span of most individuals is 24 inches by 36. And if you can do the torso thing, you're good. What that is one thing that YouTube will get you for is talking about uh, using deadly force. I just had this conversation with Hootenanny's Homestead the other day. She sent me an email. So I suggest you go to a reactive shooting class. The Bee Lady Apiary, they're awesome. They also provide you. Um, the city stead, he is a Marine. Awesome. I did not know that. Um, but take that reactive shooting course. It's going to teach you when you're walking with the individual to be able to shoot, to be able to create distance, then shoot, things of that nature. Yeah, take as many self-defense classes as you can. It's just refresher. If you're really in one of those, the Tinkerer's Wife, if you're in one of those areas, go sign up for a good judo class or um, a. Okay, I'm good. I keep seeing the buffering thing from him, and I'm like, um, fanatical recreation. Um, but go join a good self-defense class. If you can find a good MMA school where you can go in and learn to roll around, you'll actually be a lot more capable of defending yourself in a lot of situations than just going in and taking a basic martial arts class. In my opinion, it teaches you more real life um, situational awareness and how to control yourself in different positions from where you are instead of just a static stand your ground type of thing. Okay, stomach is. Yeah, guys, it's family. I think that's absolutely correct. Harvesting the Bounty has 6 kids, 5 still at home. Um, Blood is thicker than water, but water is a good thing when it's your best friend. So keeping yourself together is good. I wouldn't say Chris or any soldier is a former there. I I am a Marine. The former thing is usually that you got in trouble and you were released from duty. I was asking about your background. I didn't serve, but brothers did Marine. Dad were Marines. Awesome. Thank you for their service. Thank you, City Stead. Uh, Carol's gonna kick her husband. Mama Woods, you'll be okay. Don't dream bad. Dream good because you're gonna be the one doing what you need to do. Throw some elbows and stuff. Um, player, hey, ladies, get your husband to play around with you. I mean, ask them now. Don't get mad at them when they do it, but ask them to come up and surprise you. Tell them not to tell you when you're doing it. Um, I'm 5'7", Mellow. Um, So, ask them to do certain things. They don't have to hurt you. They don't have to take it too far. But if you can do that, you can do a real good job of learning how to get out of certain different positions, positioning your head in the correct manner. Um, Guys, remember to put it in all caps if you have a question. Does it help if you shout certain language? Well, I mean, your tone and what you're saying is gonna show if you're gonna be a victim or not. They will never be able to teach every situation you may face. Having a strong mind and will, thinking like a victim is so important. Yeah, guys, put in your head what's going on. If you're there and you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna get killed. I'm gonna this." That's why I teach what I just said about the ladies. I'm not talking about someone's walking up to you and still can run. I'm talking about they've got you. You're in the back of a van. You've been pulled in the house. You're in your house. Someone's done something, and you cannot get away. You need to convert from victim to victor. And be in victory, I'll back up. No one ever wins a fight. No one ever wins a fight. If I punch you in the head with my fist and knock you out, 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up with knuckles like these right here. See how big they are and broken? That's because these two hands have provided my livelihood my entire life. So I've been punching something or hitting something my entire life, um, in defense of this country or my fellow man. That's what these were made for, and I pay for it now. But you're going to get hurt. No one ever wins a fight. Someone might walk away a little better than the other, but nobody ever wins a fight. So, okay, so if you say they will catch you, they may take care of you. They won't. You pacify them. You got to make that choice yourself there, the Bee Lady Apiary. You got to figure out the situation. Um, you know, I can't tell you what to do in a personal situation. If someone's got a gun to my head or a knife to my head, um, game's on, and I'm gonna pacify them until I can take control. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you're in that situation and you think you're going to be hurt that bad, um, make them feel like a king and make them walk away like a baby. Okay, the busy loss. Holding a baby has always been my biggest stress when needing to get into my vehicle. Top advice: look your vehicle and walk around your vehicle before you put them. Place your youngest child, on the farthest side of the car. So there, when you're going in, your youngest child is who you're going to put in the car probably first. So as you walk up to that car, you walk at an angle so you can see underneath it. And as you approach that car, you look to the back to the front, not the front to the back. You look into the back seat, you walk around to the opposite side of the car. I've cleared both sides, underneath, back seat, front seat. I open the door, I place my child in the car while still keeping my eyes on a swivel. You're good enough as a mama that you can pretty much manipulate the car seat within a couple of weeks better than most law enforcement officers can manipulate a firearm. So that's my advice. Keep the baby on the opposite side of the car. Okay. Uh, Okay, I'm a little bit off on stuff. I had to take this as an educator for school event things, like put them in change. That is what I mean. Reference. I kind of missed that one a little bit. Repost that last one there, the Bee Lady Apiary. It was scrolled by me too fast. It's all mindset. Hootenanny said it great. If you put yourself in the mindset that you're going to be a victim, you're going to be a victim. If you put your mindset in that you're a man or a woman of God and He gave you the strength to be a warrior for Him, and that you aren't going down without a fight, and whatever that evil is that's trying to take you over is not going to win no matter what, because I know I'm going on a journey to my mansion in the sky with my good Lord standing beside me, and I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to lose. I'm coming out on top one way or another. Yeah, that's a great idea, harvesting the bounty. If you ever feel like you're in an uncomfortable situation, take and put yourself in the car and then address it that way after you've locked the doors. It's harder, but you can do it. As an educator, we had to take this for possible school events, but the student in charge and play to them. What do you want? How can I help? Well, what you're talking about right now, the Bee Lady Apiary, is called verbal judo, and that's um, a totally different mindset on what you're doing. And verbal judo is when you're in a position of authority and you're trying to talk someone down from something. So, for instance, you're in a school situation, you have a bully stands up, he wants to be able to bully up someone else. You take a firm stance in a calm voice. I can be firm and never raise my voice and allow you to know that I'm in control to some extent, depending on where it's at. And you're going to talk to that individual and you're not going to ever ask them what they want. That's the key. I'm never going to ask you, what can I do to get you to do something? I'm going to ask them in a manner of, why is there a problem? What are your intentions? Sit down, please. And then when that response comes back, no, who do you think you are? I'm the teacher in charge. Take a sit down. The student's armed and ready to do business. You better be ready to be doing business. You're at a totally different level. I'm victim, or I'm the king. I'm the queen. So, and that's hard to do if you don't have training. It all comes back to that training. Um, I'm a big advocate of people of teachers being trained and being able to carry firearms. But I know a lot of teachers that don't need to even have a spoon. They don't need to have that. So harvesting the bounty, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but I bet you're a lot stronger. So the refuse to be a victim class, go take that, guys. It'll show you the mindset of what you're doing and how to prevent yourself from being in those situations. The school shooting things, when you talk about that stuff, guys, 9 times out of 10, you're talking about someone that's been severely bullied and been put into a mental state of where they can't, or a mental individual that has something. I said it before, guns don't kill you, hands kill you. And a lot of times it's a sick mind with hands. And people don't like to call our kids sick, but sometimes you have sick. Yeah, and and I know it's been a lot of boys that have done this, but look, Fishes and Loaves just made that most of the situation. The boys just shoot and no talking. I want you to look at something, guys. There's been an increase in violence by girls too. You had that young lady here. I guess it's been 8 or 9 years ago. That was 11 years old. Her two friends took her into the woods and stabbed her like 48 times. Two little girls took the. It's the mindset. We've got some sick minds going on. Yeah, I mean, once again, the B Lady Apiary. It's the difference of being a victim and being a hero, not a hero, but being a warrior. She was able to take that individual at the charter school, get him into an office, isolate him away, and give those other students time, even if it was going to cost her life. So that's the question that you have to make a choice and have enough training to be able to do it. Guys, you can be scared. That's where we're going with this chat right now. You're talking about people that are wanting to be scared and do fear. Don't be fearful. If someone grabs your child at the mall, throw your purse, throw your chair, run after them, tackle them to the ground, stab them with your high heel stiletto, claw their eyeballs out, use your keys, and do everything you can. Teach your kids to do what you need to teach your children to do and protect themselves. You're there to protect them, but they need to have a certain line of protection. Telling your kids it's not okay to fight is wrong. It is perfectly okay to fight when you are putting in an evil situation. I'm telling you, and here we go. I'm gonna get on my preaching thing here. Okay. Um, Young children are totally different than olders, but you can when they communicate, you do it. Oh, you I'm trying to read the chats. I can't do that. Like I said earlier, I am a warrior of God, and people get mad at me and they hate me when I say that because I'm a fighter, guys. I'll fight evil every day of the week, and I think God loves me and put me here for that purpose. I don't want to go fight just to fight, but I'm very good at what I do and very effective at what I do. And evil needs to be smited, it needs to be removed. So, teaching your kids that it's not okay to protect themselves is a disjustice to your children. And it's a disjustice if the school system is punishing your child for defending themselves against bullies and people that shouldn't be there. And if you're a teacher and you condone that, you know, it's not it's it's not good. It's not good. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to think clearly and outside the box a little bit on this. What do you think Jesus really said when he walked in the temples that were being used as marketplaces? Do you think he walked in and said, "Okay, guys, I need you tomorrow to not have your tables in here and need to stop doing this"? Do you think that's what he said? Or does he talk about strapping a sword to his side and all this good stuff? And when he walked in, he probably flipped over his table and said, "Get out! Let's go! Come on!" Yes, he was a passive. Yes, he turned the other cheek a lot of times. But when it came time to build a wall and carry a sword in one hand and build the wall with the other, it talks about him doing that. It talks about the bottom of his robe being colored in the color of crimson. He called them vapes. Yep. So I missed a bunch of stuff on here. I've read all about Columbine. Those kids tactically set themselves up to be really good. There you go, Hootenanny. He made a whip and tore it up. He didn't go in there and say, "It's okay. You don't have to fight. It's okay." He didn't say any of that. He walked in and he laid the smack down on evil. The BA player, really? Then why did he make that whip? Why does it talk about him carrying a sword in one hand and building a wall with the other? I mean, words, God. Like I said, I may make some of you mad on some of this, so I hope not. I really do. But I think there's a difference between evil and a just man that's having a bad day. I don't think it's, if you know you're looking at a good man and a good man standing or a good woman standing in front of you and something bad happens by a mistake of where we're going, and that's there, you turn the other cheek, you try to give much love, you try to give them as much spiritual guidance, and you show that. But when okay, thanks for the behavior. I hope I don't make you mad. But I mean, when you talk about that, that's one thing. But when you talk about pure evil, when you talk about individuals learning for 3 years how to fly airplanes, to fly them into a large building to cause mass destruction, that's evil. How else do you deal with it? I don't know. But I think we have a lot of evil within our own Christian community. I think that passage that we read today, when we tell individuals not to get married, and we tell individuals not to eat food, and we tell individuals that they can't speak up because they're too young, they're not an elder in the church, that they're not a pastor. But then your pastor, like I said on the last one's been to 16 different churches over the last 5 years. And when you look at it, only reason that he's been in 16 different churches is because he's looking for that bigger amount of money and that stipend that he's getting from the church. He's using 10% tithe to better himself financially because he's not there for the flock. He's not there to save the souls of good people. He's there for $1 to drive a newer vehicle. I'm trying to read some of these. Okay. So, what is your advice on sleepovers with friends? My sons are 10 and almost 12, and I did not allow this before now. Well, I think it's part of a social structure, and I think that's something you have to do when you have young boys talking openly. When you have young boys if you have young, I'm reading 4 different comments. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna step away and answer this question. You have young boys in that age where puberty's starting, and if you have young ladies and stuff at the house that are youngsters and stuff, I think that's just being a good parent. And let the boys have the run of the house, and you and your daughter go do something, and hey, you know what? We're gonna let you have the whole room and stuff, and me and my daughters are gonna have a sleepover kind of here. You can't protect them from everything like that. You have to raise them and let them do that. So you have to put them in the safest place you can, but you also have to let the boys be boys and grow up and have sleepovers, and the girls the same way. Because I'm telling you what, you all know this. Most of y'all are women. Girls grow up and advance a lot further and a lot quicker than us boys do. So if you got 10-year-old boys and an 8-year-old little girl, a lot of times that mindset is a lot further along with that 8-year-old little girl or 10 or 12-year-old little girl. And I'm using ages, and I know I'm not in the same box. A lot further than what those 10 and 12-year-old little boys are looking at and seeing stuff. So my advice is to let them have their sleepovers, enjoy the time that they have. And if questions come up, answer them, and answer them honestly. Don't try to hide stuff. I think if you can be open with your children, boys or girls, it's there. It's like we went to get the pigs over, and we got there, and his male pig tried to breed uh, um, our male pig or female pig that we took over, and it's there. I just missed a comment from Rainbow 500. I understand, Chris. I would agree with you. We have to fight the good fight. Yes, we have to fight the good fight. I agree with that wholeheartedly. So that's my answer to you, the busy little house. I don't allow outside sleepovers often. I was a child once and know what I saw and went through away from home. Yeah, hey, if you don't know the parents, if you've not, here's my opinion on letting them go to sleepovers. If you've not had dinner with the parents several times, if you don't have a personal relationship with those parents, and this isn't going to eliminate everything. My child ain't going over. Elon's not going there. If I don't have a personal relationship with the parents, it's not going to happen. It's too hard to trust people now. I don't allow sleepovers. 2 bees and 1 flower. Welcome. I just saw you there. Um, but you also have to remember that too when you invite someone, if your son invites someone or your daughter invites somebody over to your home, that's something you have to make time to facilitate and grow a young child into a young adult, to a young, prosperous, respectful, God-fearing adult. Is you have to take the time to go meet those parents and understand them, and devote that time into your children that way as much as you do at home with scripture and teaching. Yeah, 2 bees, 1 flower. I agree. I mean, you can't trust anybody, but you have to you can't raise your children to be fearful. You can raise them to be cautious. You can raise them to be warriors. You can raise little girls to be little girls and little boys to be little boys, and not look at today's hype and what's going on. You can take young children at 2 and 3 years old and give them a towel and a stick, and a little girl will put it on and run around and have a fairy wand and a dress within 5 minutes without being told, and she's a princess in most cases. And you'll take the little boy and they'll have him around their neck, and they'll have it in, and they'll be a warrior, they'll be a superhero, they'll have a sword in their hand. So nurture in nature what's there. Teach them both to be strong. I've said this before. If you've listened to me talk about how I got here, I do a personal testimony on what I'm trying to raise Elin to be. And I want Elin to be able to do anything and everything she possibly wants to and can. She says she wants to be everything, guys. That's her words. I'm not saying that in an overview of what's there. She says she wants to be everything. She wants to be a pilot, a weather girl, a veterinarian, a doctor, a farmer, and she says she's going to do it all. And guess what? Hopefully she can. I want her to raise her to be strong and love God and understand that she can be anything and she can be strong, but that it's okay if she finds a strong man to walk by her side that will take and put her on a pedestal, and she can surrender to that man the same as that man surrendered to the Lord Jesus Christ. Because that's what it means when you take that vow. It's not a submissive thing. It's not a thumb oppressive thing. It means that you're going to love him the way he loves Jesus. And in return, he's going to place you on a pedestal, and he's going to support you and love you and take care of you and nurture you. And you're going to go on and do things together that make you both much better than anything else. I'm going to go over here and read. You just love her. That's right. She worked that camera like a champ, Rainbow 505. And I saw something just briefly, and I hope. Thanks, Mello. I saw something earlier that said you have to teach them respect. I have a nephew that I raised from 13 years old that's 27. He has 2 children now. I'm a peduncle, a papa uncle, and I love him. And when he came to live with me, the first thing that I told him was he had no rules. You have no rules except one. He's like, I have no rules. I can do anything. I said, yes. He said, what's the one rule? And I said, respect. And he said, respect. And I said, yeah, respect is your one rule. He goes, well, how is respect a rule? And I said, well, if you respect me, you'll get anything you want. If you speak to me and respect me and tell me what's going on, we'll do whatever we can. If you disrespect me, I'm going to come down as hard as I possibly can on you. There's no gray area. Even with Elin, when you guys hear me say something to her, I will say it in a harsh tone when it's wrong. There's not a gray area. She's learning, she's testing boundaries, and we allow those to be tested, but there's no gray area. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and what falls in the middle, there shouldn't be that much there difference. Respect is the key to life. If I respect you in this country, it doesn't matter what we're doing. We can have differences. We can be far left, far right. And if we respect each other and actually communicate, there's nothing that we can't overcome in our community, in our family, in our country as a whole. That's one of the things that I love more than anything about the homesteading community is the fact that we have far left liberal people, we have far right conservatives, we have moderates in the middle, and we can communicate about all situations all the way across. Common decency. That's correct, traveling for fun. My daughter is going to be 6 in August. Thank you. Fairy tale creation. Are you doing it as fairy tale creation? I may get that wrong. She is sweet. She might get best video award. We're going to actually, what do you guys think about this? I think once a week, we do the cooking thing from time to time, but she really wants the vlog. So I think once a week, she wanted to do her own channel. I said, you're not doing your own channel. I said, but maybe once a week, I'll give you the camera and you can lead what we're talking about. We'll talk about it and we'll do it that way. What do you guys think about that idea? Yes, 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 yes. The busy little house, we'll do it if you'll do it. You have some great looking children and absolutely cuties that I think would be really good at it as well. Georgia Malone, I think I told you on this last time. My daughter was born on, Elam was born on my birthday. We share the same birthday, so I'll forever be 39. Christian, what did I miss? Oh, cool. So I get to meet. Okay, good. I'll be in Cook. Hey guys, I'll be in Cookville at the Appalachian Homestead or Appalachian Homesteading Conference on the 25th. I think that's what we're referring to. Um, the Bee Lady April, go back and check them out. She's a doll baby. She's really smart. She's a good kid. Is anybody else getting any buffering? If you're getting any more buffering, let me know. Nope, good to go. If anybody gets it, let me know. Just put in caps buffering or whatever. I know there's a lot of bad weather going on, but I'm trying to make it. All right. Well, that's what we'll do. We'll let her start vlogging a little bit and working the camera, um, and see what we can do. Nice. You got him his own GoPro. That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, harvesting the bounty. I don't edit. I download my videos, pull them down, put them together. The one that I shot today on doing the pig paddock, you guys will see in the next day. You'll see me. I get tongue twisted and I just go blah 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 blah, blah. And then I go right on into the next thing. Very few times, if we mess up right in the beginning in the intro or something, I'll roll it back over. My baby is 8 and wants to make videos. 2 bees, 1 flower. Let them make them with you. That's. I don't think it's. I don't think they need to have videos of their own. The Bee Lady Apiary. That's why the original one is called "Are You Ready for the Marathon?" Live stream number 2. We have a tendency to go long on here because we talk, and I like to engage on there. This is my daddy time, spending it with you guys. Um, I try to do this, and this is what I do, and enjoy it a lot. Yes, we have a PO box. It's PO Box 13, Unicoi, Tennessee. And if you go into our About section, you can go in there and it's listed in there with all the other stuff. We have an Amazon wish list and stuff. And some of you guys have been sending stuff, but it's, I didn't want to put it on there, but I've been getting so beat up about it, about sending her stuff. Um, I ended up doing one. Most everything is on there. And then I had people beat me up for not putting anything on there. So I put a couple of tools and things on there, a camera mic and stuff for the homestead too. But no one has to buy anything. Elin loves, little stuff. So if you want to send her something, do that. Oops, forgot the all caps, heading off to bed. This has been the Bee Lady April. We are so glad that you joined us. Good night and God bless you. Yeah, traveling for fun. Yeah, if your child's old enough to have a cell phone, make sure that they're keeping them charged and have a tracking app on there, and make sure they don't know how to disable it. Make it only be able to be controlled by yours. City Girl Country Heart, hello. You fell asleep. I'm sorry. Go back to bed, girl. You don't need to be up for this. Good night. Eli likes Legos and stuff. I actually didn't put anything on there for him, Rainbow 505, because he hasn't been here when we've made them. But he loves outdoors. He loves Legos. He's in the vlogging thing right now. He's got a little channel called Eli Van Hoy, and he does gaming stuff and silly boy stuff, screaming. I mean, he's 10, getting ready to turn 11, so So, Life with Linda. Hey, how are you? And yes, I do have a pretty well behaved, cute daughter. She's at the testing age, so we have to teach a lot, sometimes more than the others. So, um, Eli likes T-shirts. He's in a medium. He's a big T-shirt guy with different funny things on them and stuff. I've got to get him the single dad homesteading T-shirt made for him in his size. Um, because when we had the two that me and Elon wear all the time, that was done. That was done on the spur of the moment for the shindig, and he wasn't going. So when we went to the seat swap at the Stivers, I ended up taking one of the stickers and placing them on his chest. So yeah, there's my email and the PO box number and everything. And once again, guys, if you go to the channel and look under the about, all that good stuff is there. You should do a vlog miniseries while you are teaching her how to work the camera. You know what, David Northwater? That would be a very good one. We'll do that. Elon is in a 5T. Um, see, Mims's Garden's already got all this stuff locked down because she's already sent us shirts and stuff. I can't wait for you guys to see this shirt that she had done for me and Elon. Uh, Absolutely easy. Um, might have to, if you guys want any of them, you'll have to order them from her. Let her have that. Um, Harvesting the bounty, you have to look for the remotes. You have to look when you go in and look around for them. They're usually hid up behind the TVs or over on a little cubby. And it's not like you can't grab them, but that's where they are at the Sam's Club. And usually it's the ones on the ends that you can do. But then if you go around and point them at the other TVs, you'll see that they do that. And sometimes if you'll get to talking to that guy that's in the electronics area, um, that it's really he'll get with you and put them on there so you can see them. Elon loves books, but Georgia Malone, listen, girl, I'm not exaggerating when I say this right now. We probably have 600 books at the house right now. And I actually told her that we had to go through them, pick out some books, and donate them to the library. Uh, we have a lot of books. Now, if there's like a special little type of book you want, send me the title first off, and I'll tell you if we already have it. But we love books. We do that. Even with being a dyslexic, I've read 2 books before I was out of high school. Two full length books, novels. Right. And then when I became an air marshal, I think I read 500 books in the first year. So, and it all goes back to the if people decide they want the shirt, Mim says she'll give them the design info afterward, and make them go through your friend Mims if she does it, and let her get some stuff off of that. Oh, harvesting the bounty. When did you lose your home to a fire? That's crazy. I hate to hear that. It's nuts. We have anybody from South Carolina on here? Okay, Anna, we're on the same page. Yeah. Does I hate to hear that. Harvest the Bounty, 8, 9, 14. 2014, you lost everything. Life with Linda. Eli. All right. Now, here we go, guys. I'm going to have to skip some questions here for a minute. And 2 bees, 1 flower. I'll get back to you on the South Carolina thing here. Eli is he is Elon's half brother. And me and his father both have full custody. And his father and I absolutely hated each other. If we just saw each other in a dark alley, it would not have ended well for somebody. But when everything went off and their mother left and went to Arizona, if you don't know this story, very successful businesswoman, left 3 children, but so she wasn't just a knucklehead. She He got custody as well. Me and him got together. We actually retained the same lawyer for custody purposes and worked together, and we have become best of friends. And I'll tell you a story about him in a second. That's not real good, but anyway, he allows me to get Eli. I can get him as much as I want. If he needs somebody to watch him, he calls me. But I get him on average every 2 to 3 weeks. But he's my son. And Scott would tell his dad would tell you the same thing. He's Chris's boy as much as he is mine. I'll never be able to love him as much as his daddy does, but it's real close. Okay, I'm gonna reveal it. Eli's father. We went to the Stivers for the seat swap, and that was about 4.5 hour drive for us to get there, and we I can't read this. I can't do that and keep concentrating. But we went up there, and the plan was Scott was at his longtime girlfriend's who lives in Knoxville, which is about 2 hours away. On the way through, um, I was supposed to drop Eli off to his father, and then he was going to ride back with his dad because I have a very small 94 Toyota small pickup truck, and Eli sits in the back when we go any place. So in the back seat, not the back of the truck. Anyway, and it's not as comfortable as his dad's big truck. So that was the plan. And we got to the Stivers, and Eli started having so much fun that he said, "Can I just stay with you and drive home with you so we can stay longer?" And I said, "Absolutely, buddy, that's fine." So there's a second part of the story I'll back up and tell in a minute. So anyway, I called his dad. His dad, yes, oh, that's fine. Just bring him home. It's good to go. I said, well, it's going to be about 12 o'clock before we pull back into town, but he can sleep in the car for several hours because he had school the next day. So Eli fell asleep about 9 o'clock. He's sleeping in the car. We're about halfway home, about 2 hours out, and my phone rings with a number that I don't know. And I answer it, and Scott has 3 older children, and his oldest son's wife was the one calling. And she said, Chris, we've been trying to get a hold of Eli, but we can't get through on his phone. I said, well, he has no service on his phone for some reason. And she said, well, Scott was just hit by a drunk driver head on a block from their house. And I said, do what? She said, he was just hit by a drunk driver a block from their house. It totaled his vehicle. He shattered his hand, shattered his wrist. The guy was drunk, high, on a revoked, warrants on him, the whole 9 yards. It made the 11 o'clock news. And if Eli would have been in the truck, it would have probably killed him because it completely buckled a brand new Nissan Titan diesel. It buckled it and smashed the front end all the way into the second cab. The diesel engine was laying on the ground. If God isn't good, how did that happen? He made sure that child was in my car instead of his father's, and it was a block from their home. And he did. The Lord saved him. So I mean, it's awesome. He thought he was going to have surgery on his hand and his wrist, and he went to see an orthopedic, and God was good in that way too. It's not going to have surgery on it. It's broke pretty bad. He's got to have it cast up for a long time, but he's a good, healthy, strong man, so he should be fine. Um, God was watching out over us. The guy that was the drunk driver that hit him was in critical condition, but it looks like he's going to make it. And he's got some issues legally and otherwise doing that. The busy little house. Don't cry, girl. God's good. There ain't no crying over that one. God is good. He's watching out for us all. And he did protect our family. It's amazing. And now check this out. So let's see. Think y'all good. I learned. Harvesting the bounty, you know what to do on that one? Turn around and punch him straight in the mouth. The devil's riding on your butt, guys. Find the Lord. Find what he needs. Speak his words, as the verses we said tonight. Cherishing the things that he gave us. And turn around when he comes up right in the smacker. And I know that's hard to say, but that's what you got to do. All right, so I'm gonna go back and finish this other part of the story, and I'm gonna get where I don't see this again. So we leave to go to the seat swap. So we're driving up. We get there. We get about halfway. I stop to get gas. I get out of the car. I go to get my credit or debit card to put in and get gas. I left my debit card at home on the computer where I made a purchase. So I happen to have $60 in my pocket. Usually keep $100 bills folded up, put in the back of my little money clip. But for some reason I broke it and I had $60 in my pocket. And so I was like, I'm already halfway here. That's enough to get us there, enough to get us back. But there probably is not going to be dinner unless it's like CC's or Taco Bell. And that was the plan for the day after we got everything done. So I don't know if Deborah's on here. I don't think she is. But Deborah's from Knoxville. She was at the seat swap too. We got to meet her. So we got done with the seat swap and we're walking out of the building. And I told Zach and Jen, look, we'll go to dinner, but we're going to be on a short budget. Let's do CC's or something. And he was like, man, we're buying your dinner. I was like, no, you're not buying our dinner. I said, let's just go someplace cheaper, have tacos or something. So they decided to go to a Mexican restaurant. Well, Deborah was walking in front of us. We were walking in. We walked out the steps and went down the stairwell. And as we're walking down, literally laying on the stairs was a $20 bill as we walked out to go to dinner. And I reached down. I said, Deborah, I want you to watch this. And she said, what? And I reached down and I picked the $20 bill up and she had just stepped over it. And she says, God is good. And you'll never find who that belongs to. So I looked around to the people that were around us and was kind of like, does this belong to anybody? They're like, no. So we paid for our meal that night we didn't. Actually, someone else bought our meal that night. And I was like, at least we got a little cushion if we have a flat tire or something. So anyway, that whole day was filled with the Lord looking down upon us and taking care of us. The busy little house. I'm glad someone gave it to us in a way that maybe it didn't hurt them. And he did have our backs. So he is the provider. So those are the little stories from the seed swap that were awesome and bad. I mean, even though Scott, Eli's father, was hurt, he wasn't severely hurt, and it could have been a lot worse. If you saw the pictures, I might be able to pull them up, of this truck. You would have been like, holy smokes. I hope I don't kick myself offline on this. But let's see if I can get a picture of this truck. Here you go. Let's see if I can get this camera to. Well, I might have to do it at kind of an angle. Can you guys see that? That's not a little truck. That's a full size. I know I said Nissan, but it's a full size Nissan diesel truck. So just amazing. So luckily he had insurance going to take care of everything. But it's scary when stuff like that happens. So I have a question for you guys. I wanted to do this earlier and then all the things went down. So I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I don't want any of you to cheat and go online. Okay? I don't want any of you cheat and to go online or anything else. I want you guys to answer this question. Okay? In our Constitution, if you don't have one of these little books, go find one. You can go to any Republican candidate's office and you'll find one of these. Here's the funny part, and this is not digging because I'm not Republican or Democrat or anything of that nature. You cannot find a copy of these in a Democratic official's office that is running for office. They will not give these away. This is this by the FBI is considered contraband to the U.S. This is terroristic paperwork, the Constitution. If you don't believe me on that, look it up. So anyway, my question is, what are your rights? I'll give you one of them, freedom of speech. There's 5. Whoever can name all 5 of them first. Let's see who can get it. I'll give you the first one, freedom of speech. Put my glasses on here. The right to own and bear arms is actually an amendment, and it is, but I'm talking about your basic rights. Freedom of religion. I got that one. Then I'll read it to you. It's pretty short. Religion and speech. Everybody gets religion and speech. Let's see if you can get the rest of them. Don't look it up now. Don't look it up. You guys are going to probably feel really dumb if you don't get them all, because they're all, these are actually the base rights that you have, the freedoms that you were guaranteed before even the right to own and bear arms, with all the amendments. This is Amendment 1 of the Constitution. Your First Amendment. Freedom of assembly. There you go. There's another one. All right. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom to homestead. Rainbow 505. You can get the book. Everything I want to do is illegal. Because I don't think we have the right to freedom of there. All right. Hootenanny's got it. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom to assemble peacefully, and I can't remember the other one. Uh-oh, Hootenanny. You have the right to petition the government for a redress or grievance. So this is how it actually reads. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibit the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or the press, or the right of the people to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for redress or grievance. So those are your basic freedoms. Those are before everything else was added on. So, but everybody misses the grievance, and everybody misses the right to assemble, the freedom to assemble. Everybody gets freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, but they miss the other 2. I know you did, Nanny. And it should be beaten into your head every day. It should be beaten into everybody's head every day. If we can get that First Amendment down and then go through and learn the rest of them, everything else falls in place. It's like reading the Second Amendment. Everybody misses that. With who, Nanny, you're not allowed to do this. Everybody else, what's your Second Amendment? Schoolhouse Rock was running through your head. 2 bees, 1 flower. Even if you're not a gun person, what's your Second Amendment? Garden for cheap, the right to bear arms. That's part of it. Life with Linda. I don't know what you mean by that last part, but you could be meaning the right thing. We understood the busy little house. I said this on the last live. I'm going to read you your Second Amendment so that you know, and this clarifies argument about what firearms why you're given the right to own and bear firearms. Okay, so I'm going to read this to you. Hold on. I just looked down and I'm on the absolute wrong page. All right, here you go. You ready? The Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of free states, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I'm going to repeat that. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of free states, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So, the reason the Constitution put in the right to own and bear arms was not for hunting and fishing. The right to own and bear arms was so that you can defend this country as a militia against foreign and domestic. So the militia is not a bad word. We've made it a bad word. I don't belong to a militia, but in a time of civil disobedience where we the people stand up, we may have to take those actions against a domestic or a foreign action. And that's why we have the right to own and bear arms. It's not for hunting and fishing. That's not what the right to own and bear arms is for. It's for a well-regulated militia to protect against tyranny. Exactly, two bees in one flower. And if people would read that as a whole, they would understand it. There's no argument to why the Second Amendment is here. But the only part they want to read is you have the right to own and bear arms. And they try to make it about sporting, and they try to make it about this. Well, a well-regulated militia, it actually goes in, if you read the rest of the Constitution in different parts, it says if a militia is set up, that there will be certain parts of the government that will step in as higher as an officer. For instance, if you watch Patriot, the Mel Gibson movie, when you see him go in, he reports, he goes into the general. The general then makes him a colonel, and then he takes over that militia. And then when they actually do step into a armed conflict of some sort, there is some type of hierarchy so that you have the communication between the two. You'll never have a complete, like if it's a governmental thing, you'll never have anybody go against the people. I can tell you right now, out of all the military, all the federal law enforcement officers I know, there are not many of them, and I'm talking probably could count them on my hands. And if Hoot worked throughout that organization, she might be able to jump in on that. But I can tell you, I don't know more than a handful that would take an order against the people. We did bring it to the Mel Gibson level. It's a great movie. All you ladies, because now let me ask you this. How many men do we have on here tonight? And I love all you ladies, but I would like to know how many men we have on here. Because on my analytics, it says I have a 1,560, I think it is right now, subs. I don't know. Somebody tell me. I think I'm right at 1,560. But it says 100% of my subscribers are women. What are we wanting to be read? I missed it. Yeah, he counts. I know. I mean, I know I have several hundred at least men that are subscribed, but I don't know if it. Yeah, Eli. Yeah, yeah, and I think that's what it is. Is it may be where someone in the family setting it up, and it goes off the female setting it up and everything. So I'm at 1561. Woo woo. That's awesome. Um, thanks, Garden, for cheap. I'm too intimidating. Good busy little house. Shut up. And I hate that word. But anyway, no, I actually, I mean, I know. Yeah, David, there you are. I see ya. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those little crazy things. Yeah. So where is that queen heifer at? I mean, goodness gracious. Maybe we should set up a booth at the Appalachian Homesteading Convention and let Anna like run shifts on it for application interviews. What's everybody think? Yeah, Ural? I know. Ural, my thought on children learning how to use guns. I'm an advocate of it. I think if you teach a child how to use a gun and the basic no kissing booth. If you teach them the basics and you take a curiosity away from a child, that's like if you tell a child something, do what you tell them, and then they don't want to go off and try to do it on their own. Um, I think that's why I preach and push so much on the level when I do the gun safety classes, that I push it toward people that um, do not like guns, that have no use for guns. I still want those individuals to know the basic ways to safely remove firearms away from children, how to safely unload or make them safe to put someplace else. So that's my opinion on that. With firearms, I think that teaching is knowledge, and it's like with anything else. You're going to teach a child how to use a knife, how they're going to cut their food. That's a weapon as well. So if you take the curiosity, you teach, and you do that, I think you're better off. I hope that answered your question. Yeah, the busy little house. If you bring children to my home, we're going to talk before you come in with a child, especially. And then I even tell the adults, if you see a gun, it's loaded. Uh, and that's because I teach every weapon is loaded. Even if it's an unloaded weapon, it's loaded. You check it and make sure you're good. Good choices, garden for cheap. You start where you can start. Let's see, harvest the bounty. Well, according to Andrew over at VWN, past the heifer stage. I'm just a cow now. Haha, she was talking about 1 year and 2 year old heifers. After that, they were cows. Haha. Harvest the bounty. If I've been put out to pasture a long time ago. I think that's why we have so much fun with that. Both of my boys hunt and fish, and my daughter will do the same. My Elin says you guys might not like it. Elin says she's killing a deer next year, and she wants me to record it for YouTube. But I think I'm going to let her start with the crossbow. Yeah, you always have to lay down busy little house, the home rules when anybody comes over, and you need to lay it down to the parents. You need to let them know that you're going to do that before they come over, and then they may not want them to come over. So the sleepover thing may go away. Set up a table with a dessert and your favorite on there, and you wait. I'm missing that one, Mama Woods, Carol. Chris, pick a homesteader so you can keep doing joint live streams. Oh, you mean so that they can tell us what we're going to do next week? David, you do it then. Come on, brother. You tell us what we're going to talk about next week. You said it. You get it. Oh, bait. Set up favorite desserts. Well, it should be my favorite dessert, shouldn't it? I was planning on starting my kids off with air guns. Should I just go ahead and get a real Diana? I mean, air guns are so nice nowadays. You can buy a nice 22 caliber that you can hunt with and stuff, and you know they're perfectly fine, and they're good defense too as far as animals and predators on the homestead. I love air guns and air rifles. Make sure you buy a really good one. No, I think he meant pick a homesteader for your queen heifer. LOL. Hey, I hope, but I'm gonna let God send her to me this time. I picked I picked bad once and wasn't bad. She just changed after giving birth. And the first one just couldn't handle the job of me being a federal law enforcement officer. She was a wonderful woman, but I understand uh, the heartache that she had to go through. So that didn't work. I have been married twice. Um, The first one, it's hard to not know where your husband's at all the time. Yes, when she chooses, you're the found her. Mila says she's awesome with desserts. I'm gonna have to nerk down and get a. My son has a 22 Savage that is over 100 years old. Oh, 2Bs. That's one of my favorite guns. I actually I'm a 22 freak. I have all kinds of different 22 caliber firearms. I love them. It's my favorite. Did you get Hoot's message about cloning me? Yes. That's what I told everybody that I need to clone Nanny from Hoot and Nanny. That girl, I'm telling you guys, go check her out. And I want all of y'all, there's still 36 people on here, and I've only got 32 likes, so you better break that. Go. Check out these other channels that are on here chatting with us. Mims's Garden, Anna. I want to see her, blowing up. I want to go on there tomorrow, pass it to all your friends. I want to see her, you know, over 500 at least. She moves mountains. Go hit her up. Hoot, Hoot Nannies, you'll enjoy that. That girl can build. She does some great stuff. I don't want to give anything away about some stuff that we talked about the other day. Yeah, that we'll have to combine and change channels. Yep. Or just call it single dad plus one, two, three if they have kids. Um, so it belonged to your great granddad. That's awesome. I would still like to find a nice Savage 20 gauge over 22 Hornet or 22 Magnum for Elon, an old one. Good to go, Garden for cheap. Most everybody on here right now is, but go pass it to your friends. Share their videos. Go grab Mims's Garden video on. Look at this. You guys are gonna see how much I really do watch you. Do Mims's Garden beer video for slugs. Do She Moves Mountains video on strawberries and canning strawberry jam. Mama Bear, you don't actually have a channel, correct? I think you just have Instagram and stuff. So see, what other jobs have I had? Oh goodness gracious. Well, let's see. Out of high school, I worked for Toys R Us in high school. I've been working since I was 13 years old, but real jobs. Um, the Queen, the Bull, and the Herd. I like that one. That would be a good shirt if I find one. Um, so I worked for Toys R Us throughout the end of high school career and going into the Marine Corps. Then took the whole summer before I went in the Marine Corps off and just enjoyed. Bought an old car, redid it, sold it, made enough money to go through the summer and not have to work. Then went into the Marine Corps. Got out of the Marine Corps. Went into private sector, did some stupid stuff Marines do after they get out of the Marine Corps, and then I went to work doing corporate security for Lowe's, Home Depot, and Saks Incorporated, and then got the call 9/11 that I was going to work for the government. I said no. They said yes. I said no. Then they offered some money, and I went to work for the government again, and then blew out my knee, got retired, and I'm a full time dad now. So that's kind of the workload. And I owned. I take that back. We owned two medical clinics and a third satellite clinic when I was married to Elon's mom in the medical profession. And then I had a school called Prepping 101 where I taught traditional skills classes and stuff like that. And canning courses and just prepping stuff. So I did that. Did David ever give me suggest? I'm gonna let David still pick, even though he was asking something else. David, give me a suggestion for next week's live on Wednesday. What did Fishes and Loaves say that I missed? I'm sorry. Mims, list your own for that beer and slug thing. Good night, Mimo. Hey, the busy little house. I think that's one of the biggest things we're missing and have since after World War II. I told that story on one of the other um, lives. Is I think that's where we've kind of broken stuff. Is not having a parent at home. I don't care which parent it is. I just think we need to have a parent at home, and that's hard to do nowadays. I have to go. It's starting to lighten and thunder here. See you, Garden for Cheap. Thanks for coming on, spending so much time with us. Mims is on the shirts. There you go. Slugwiser video. Thank you very much, She Moved Mountains. Well, it looks like we're going to be well over 2.5 hours tonight, guys, which I said we're going to try to stay at 2. Do you guys want to keep going, or do you want to go, everybody get off and go to sleep? In the ever changing world, thoughts on children getting into the military. I think it depends on the child. I think we should do. I think the U.S. would be great to have a mandatory military issue, just like the Israeli. You don't have to serve in a combat role. I think everybody at whatever physical or non-physical roles um, that there is something that you can do for this country that's beyond that, and I think it would help our respect for this country, for the Constitution, for this little Constitution thing right here that made the greatest country on earth. Um, there, I think it's my own opinion. Um, I think the military is great for certain young people, especially certain young people that don't have a guide. I think it's a great way for people to get higher education as well. A lot of people don't know 75. I think it was up to 75% of the Marine Corps has a college degree now. It's the high. I think it's the highest number of college degrees in any military service, including the Air Force. I would add one thing to that, Hootenanny Homestead. I think military and volunteer work for the poor is should be mandatory, and I think it should be mandatory for it to be here for the poor here. So that's where it is. I think that's one of our big downfalls with our church and our Christian community as well, is we're so busy on going and helping everybody outside of this country. And we should, but we also need to take care of our neighbor that's laying in a ditch and having a hard time here. If we did that and we required people to work through that, then we would be a lot better. Then I regret not going into the military out of high school. I agree. It should be mandatory. Chris, how about a 10 next objective talk? What do you mean, David? What about a 10 next objectives talk? You're getting to pick whatever we talk about. You give me a subject and we'll do our best to do it. Traveling for fun, yeah, you witness a lot of waste. I think what and maybe not as much as it used to be. Um, you it's like any other governmental thing. Hey, Haskin Family Vlog made it on. What's up? Is this Amber? Now look, She Moved Mountains just assumed it was Amber. Look at that. I tried to join one. I guess it is Amber. You were right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a place for everybody to be able to serve this country in one way or another. It doesn't have to be in a combat role. But I think if you want to become a here, all right, I'm going to give you guys Corvettes way for us to actually have health care for everybody in the United States. This is from a good old country boy. Okay. We need to fix the VA first of all and get that whole process done. So we do have a socialized medicine already. It's called the VA. If you're a veteran and you go to the VA, we're already involved in socialized medicine. But there's a way that we can do it and provide medical care for everybody. And Mims's Garden, yes, the VA can be very wasteful. But here's what we can do. We can offer young people in medical school that want to go through and get their medical degree. We could offer to pay for their medical school, which is a great benefit to that individual for a number of years, as long as they keep a grade point average where they are, for a number of years of service, just like the military, make it the medical corps. You take that, you have these individuals go through, and then you pay for it, and then you give them for that 4 years, you give them a very good competitive stipend. Those individuals that are taking that stipend and going through and getting that, not only are they being able to get experience, but they're being able to come out of medical school with no financial burden. None. You pay for everything. And then while they're there, they have no malpractice insurance, which is huge for a doctor or a nurse. And then you go through and you set it up that way. Now you have people being provided great health care. And if you have the cream of the crop coming out of these places, you've helped them, because a lot of times the cream of the crop are coming from the ghetto. They've not been able to pay for their way through school because they really want it. They're working harder. They're spending more time there. They go through and they get that, and you get them, and they're going and they're making a great career. They're being able to go on to John Hopkins and these other big medical facilities with experience, with real life, actual medical experience. So that to me is the key to giving some type of, I hate to use the word socialized, but socialized medicine. Mims's Garden, I've not went to the VA in almost 5 years, and I'm actually in primary care. And the reason that I have it, and the Mountain Home VA here in Johnson City, Tennessee, is one of the best. But I had a situation where I went in and I was having a lot of back issues, and they were going to send me to a chiropractor that came in once every, he was only there like once a month. So I was told that it was going to be like 6 months before they could get me in to see this chiropractor. So we tried to get into that when they didn't do it. Well, when everything rolled around and came back through everything, I get a letter that I'm getting kicked out of primary care because I didn't show up for my appointments. They were sending to my appointments to an address that was over 6 years old and 3 residences back before that. And if I didn't happen to have, um, yeah, Mims, um, if I didn't have a friend that actually worked at the VA that pulled it up, I would have never known that. So we went through and had to file everything, and it still took me like 6 months to get back into the primary care stuff. So I actually have good insurance for my retirement through the Air Marshal Service. So I just depend on that and really don't go in. Clove oil is a amazing thing for toothache. Uh, yeah, the clove oil is really good. Harvesting the Bounty. Um, I can't think of. There's a commercial that runs on YouTube all the time, and I actually have a buddy that just went to them. They will work with you on payments. It's the dental health care. It's like the big chain dental place. They will work with you um, really good on getting your tooth fixed if you need to do that. Sheba Mountains is a big crazy name. Well, I'm glad you got on here, the Haskins family vlog. How are them beautiful boys of yours? Hopefully being boys. Handsome boys. We won't say beautiful. And they don't take horrible care of all the veterans. I'll disagree with that, Amber. I actually have a very, very good friend who's over the terminal domicile, works there at the VA Mountain Home, and she takes darn good care of her patients. But you also understand, um, when you get stuff like that, uh, they they are put into a lot of constraints too. And I can say this part because we did own the medical clinics as a family when I was married. Um, Doctors and nurse practitioners and PAs that own medical facilities get it's the insurance companies, guys. It's not the doctors. I'll give you an example. Um, when we had the clinics, we paid almost a hundred and something $1,000s a year just in liability insurance, not malpractice, not everything else. I mean, it was so expensive to own a thing. I have a friend who I was in the air marshal service with. His wife was a high risk in neonatal surgeon for in the NICU, and she got paid $395,000 a year, and her malpractice insurance and everything altogether was $280,000 a year. Tell me how that's good. Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about hoot nanny. I think it's all about um, where you go and how you get in. I personally have never had any good luck. The DAV has helped me a ton. That's a great organization. If you ever have an opportunity to help them out, please do. So, okay, two B's, South Carolina, two B's, one flower. Are you on a homestead right now? Do you have a homestead? I meant to come back to that and got off track. Well, here's the thing, guys. When you go into a medical facility now, a doctor isn't a doctor. You actually you actually have nurse practitioners and PAs actually do more work than the doctors do. I mean, honestly, and they know more in most cases. Doctors just have to sign the papers. It's not about medicine anymore. Two bees, one flower. If you know anybody that's wanting to get into homesteading and wants to do a small scale homestead, I have a home for sale in South Carolina in the McCormick area. It's a little 3 bedroom, 1 bath ranch. It's a nice home on about 0.94 of an acre. Great garden spot, all that good stuff. And I'm just looking. I'm not trying to sell a house on here. I would love to see someone that's wanting to get into homesteading get in. I'd love to do that. So it's in McCormick, right off Savannah Lakes. We're not on the lake, but we're literally within 1,000 yards of the first boat dock. So good to go. Thank you. Traveling for fun. Email me and I can give you more information on it and stuff. Yeah, nurse practitioners, junior practitioners, and stuff. It's crazy. If you're going to a clinic, if you go to in your primary care is a nurse practitioner or a PA, the funniest part, I'll answer your question right here, Fishes and Loaves, Carol. Um, where is McCormick in relation to other states? It's right on the South Carolina and Georgia line on the opposite side of the lake, about 45 minutes outside of Augusta, Georgia. Um, so, uh, for instance, if let's say you go in, you have to have an antibiotic shot of Rocephin. Uh, a doctor will get paid $150 for administering that shot and getting it done. If a nurse practitioner does it, the insurance company only pays her $14 or him $14. So I mean, it's just craziness on how it works. What did I miss? The Haskins Family Vlog boys did that with. I missed it. I went by too quick. Did that answer your question there, Carol, about where McCormick was in reference to other places? two bees, one flower. I honestly, nowadays, unless I absolutely know who the physician is, like my orthopedics doctor, I absolutely, I love him to death and would trust him with anything. But as far as overall, I would rather see a PA or a nurse practitioner than I would a doctor in most cases, because they actually are looking in and doing it. Oh, okay. Thanks, Carol. Yeah, it might help other people out. The house in South Carolina is in McCormick, South Carolina, 40 minutes outside of Augusta, on Lake Thurman. We're not actually in on South Carolina side. There's very few lakes that you can actually build a home on. It's state land all the way around it. With that, if anybody wants to know any more information, like I said, email me and I can give you some more information. Uh, Around that actual house, there's like 45,000 acres of game management property, great hunting and fishing and outdoor stuff, but it's out in the country. Yep, She Moves Mountains just posted all my information. I know you can juice wheatgrass, but I don't know about the broccoli sprouts. I think you could. Now, I know we had the one troll come on the last time talking about 420 and all that good junk. Um, CBD oil, I don't mind discussing that on here. If anybody wants to talk about that stuff, I don't have an issue with that. My mother is fibromyalgia, and she's on here quite a bit. But my mom does CBD oil and has done it for the last 2.5, 3 months, and is off every medication that she took, just by being able to do the CBD oil. And I'm talking, she was on Lyrica and all kinds of craziness. Let's see. Who? Nanny, get off here. Go sleep. Go cuddle up by that. Oh, yeah, you said he's in Rogers. Um, go to bed. Go relax. If anybody else needs to get off, don't feel like you got to stay on here. Rainbow 505. I can do that, but to be honest, I would rather defer that over to one of these other individuals on here that does more of the municipal. I know municipal plants, but I would rather give it to someone that knows a lot more than myself. Good night, or Nanny. um, so that would be me. Two bees, one flower. You're on chemo medicine. Do you come off of that regularly? Are you cycling that? Is that how that's working for you? Farming our backyard. I have a great video on chaga that I put out. It's called "The Gift from God." Um, I love chaga. That's kind of why I was asking my question. The thing is if you're on an active, constant level of chemo, and you do chaga or some of the other stuff, it actually flushes it out of your system and doesn't allow it to to um, to do what it's meant to be done. But two bees, one flower. I think there's a lot more um, things to look into. I've got a buddy that was doing chemo for like 12 years, and he actually started eating asparagus every day. And it got to the point where the asparagus was doing better than the chemo, and he had actual prostate cancer. But it actually did that. He stopped eating he got just where he wasn't going to eat any more asparagus. And within 6 months, the cancer was back. He started eating the asparagus again, and they couldn't find it again. So that's one to check out. But who on here is really good on the municipal plants and stuff? I'm going to do some videos. I just don't think I have the knowledge to do a live on that. But that is a great Ideal Rainbow 505. We love you too, Busy Little House. Yeah, I understand that. Two bees, one flower. Well, I mean, we can. Let's see. What? Give me just everybody start shooting out some ideals for um, next week's live. It's hard. It's hard to do foraging videos on a live. I don't have a way to take a camera out for me, and you really to do those foraging videos, you need to be out in the woods. I think SEAT is amazing too. I actually have a bunch of it that I keep put up. SEAT, if you get a true form of SEAT, it is it's been proven to help. Rainbow 505, I agree with you 100%. I love this community too, and we are so supportive. But it's just like two bees, one flower just mentioned that, and there's like 900 comments coming back at her for stuff to look at. Mims with a good one there on preparedness and getting stuff together. We can break that down and do multiples if you wanted to. We could do food prep and go over, the basic amounts of food you need per person. Um, you're doing keto and no sugar, so I'm sure you are part of the Keto Family Homestead channel. If you're not, you need to go do that. They're keto great ones. Oh, that's a good one right there, Carol. How about kids unplugged? How to help us play with our kids in a tech age. That would be a real good one. I love elderberry syrup too. I've just got some elderberry plants growing. All right, so why don't we do a preparedness video next week? We can do maybe a basic bug out bag, a 10 piece bag, which is where I start all my bags out. And that would be a good one, broke down to that far, and then maybe we can do another one on expanding that and do it because I think those are more applicable to the homesteading community than others. Because what we're trying to do is get back to our homesteads, not necessarily get out to a bug out location, but having a bag to get back to our homesteads. Sound to you guys? We'll call it a homestead bag instead of a bug out bag. The busy little house, old school. I'm gonna do once hunting season. Um, I'm gonna do when hunting season gets here some canning of meat and stuff. I could do them now. I could go buy a bunch of meat and do that. And actually, we may do that meat canning video live and do a live stream on it. It might be a little different to do, but we could play with that one a little bit because I traded the coons for actually an old spot meat hog that is going straight from his farm to the butcher when it's time. Linda Rayner. Okay. We're not gonna call it a bug out bag. We're gonna call it a bug in bag. So how we get back to our homestead. Am I traveling for fun? Says I'm buffering. Is anybody else catching me buffering? Yeah, we can do that, Carol. Um, most of my bags are when I talk about a 10 piece kit, it's the 10 items that you need, and you can go to Dave Canterbury. He has a YouTube channel and stuff for the Pathfinder School, and it's the 10 C's. If you look that up, David Canterbury 10 C's, or the 10 important things that you need to have no matter what. If you have skills and you have the knowledge here, those 10 pieces, you can break it down to a 5-piece bag, but a 10-piece bag will actually get you through anything you need to do. Just a little buffering, not much. I hope this thing doesn't go out again. Harvesting the bounty, we're just right here across the line in Tennessee. We're in Northeast Tennessee, UNICOI County, Tri-Cities area. Disaster preparedness, we can kind of work that in there. We can do like a series of those. Oh yeah, you're not bothering me. We're all on the same page. I was kicking stuff out to her too. It's just that's what I kind of try to worry. You're in southeastern VA. Whereabouts harvesting the bounty? Give a county. You don't have to give the city. Hey, Overlook Valley Homestead. Good to have you. We're on a marathon again. All right, farming in our backyard. Hey, I didn't even get to say hi, really. Adults unplugged. I wish we could do that. I wish we all could just throw our phones away. I don't exactly know where that's at, harvesting the bounty. I'll have to look it up. David Northwater. I was never on Dave. If you're talking about Dave Canterbury's show, but I've actually went up and helped him with the gathering on multiple occasions. Your name looks familiar. Now that I see it and do that, have you ever been to the gathering in Ohio? I was actually invited to come out for the Alone TV show on Discover. I was actually invited to go to that final pick, and that's when my sister was diagnosed with cancer, and she is more of a mother than anybody else has been to my daughter, and it's just not. It wasn't possible, and I have no regrets about it. But I actually had the opportunity to possibly be on that TV show. I think I would have done very well. Only part would have been missing Elon. All right, David Northwater. Your name looks familiar though. If you have the opportunity, you like those types of skills, those traditional bushcraft skills and things like that. Um, the Pathfinder School David's gathering it's called the Gathering, and it's in Southern Ohio. Is awesome. Patricia Clark, how are you? I have deer walking down my driveway right now. I can hear them going down the gravel. Might be a bear. He comes up to the door. It'd be interesting. Have a bear fight on alive. Grandma Sue Happy. I actually have been talking to Jess and to Hey It's a Good Life, and they have something called Deep Blue, which is really good for pain and for arthritis. And I'm in the process of getting some of that, so I'll let you know how it works. Good night, the busy little house. It's 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock here too, guys. The gathering solar information to develop the bushcraft skills. Yep, that's it. Thanks, Anna. That's a really good one. That's a good vacation if your whole family's into the outdoors and camping and stuff. It's almost like 4 or 5 days long, and you can go for. I think he has one that's a week, but he does schools all over that you can do that. It would be a lot of bear meat. There was 80 some bears killed off of this mountain last year. Oh, we have a lot of bears. I'm not a big fan of bear meat unless it's made into sausage. Now I love rendered down lard and then rendering it down into bear oil. It has no flavor or anything. It's really good. Oh, Mama Bear, are you part of that oil? The I can't the Stera or something like that? Do you do that as well, Mama Bear? My email's listed all on here, so that would be cool. Yep, thanks, Mims, for throwing the refuse to be a victim out there again. Bear meat's just gristly unless it's cooked right. When it's done up in the sausage, it makes some awesome chili and stuff, though. You can use traveling for forums. You can use deer meat or bear oil to do somewhat of a water purification on skin. It's great for your hands and moisturize. Your hands will feel slick for weeks, but it's really good moisturizer. Trail rot or itch on your thighs and stuff. It works great for that. Um, it'll keep forever too once you render it down that way. Yeah, Contented Spirits. That's the one where I watch Natalie's live. She does a live every week and talks about the I think it's Deterra. Um, and Mama Bear, am I saying that right? Deterra. List that information on there. Mama Bear, feel free. Throw up your information for people to know, and maybe they can get with you on the Deterra. But I watch. If you don't watch Hey, It's a Good Life, she's good. She'll move you. She'll get you up. I'm waiting for her bonfire at her new house. I would actually try to make it to California for that one, and I have no use for most of California. Good night, Milo. Mello. I said Milo. Yeah, I hate that. You have those issues, Mama Bear. Patricia Clark, if you're saying good night, I hope you're saying good night to her. If you need to get off, get off. She's an applicant there harvesting the bounty. Life with Linda, California. I love the state. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's just some of the things are just so crazy out there. Remember the Terra oils too. Yeah, I think Robin does the Terra. Jess from Roots and Refuge does the Terra. Hey, It's a Good Life does the Terra. Mama Bear's doing the Terra. I think that's what she just said. Um, I don't know who else all does that. So let's see. Thanks for the awesome chat and fun. Good night, all. Good night, Overlook Valley Homestead. Good night, brother, sister, all of above. Traveling for fun, yeah. I lived in California until a year ago. I am homesick. I'm sorry you're homesick. Sick life with Linda. And Mama Bear does the Terra. So make her your hookup since she's the one on here. If you need stuff, order it from her. Not pushing away from anybody else, but you buying pounds, 2 bees, 1 flower. You're going to make not getting vaccines illegal in California. Hey, they're trying to do it all around here. Rainbow 505, she did just say that she was a Dotara rep. Yes, she just answered that. And I don't know anything about them, but I've just heard a few bad things about Young Living on their original marketing plan and how they did some stuff, which I have no issues. one of the things that I really push, and Two Family Homestead actually does this. It's called Thrive Foods, and we'll talk about that on the Prepare Wednesday. I've got some of it I can show you guys, but it's great. Mama Bear, it's the deep blue, isn't it, that helps with arthritis and the pain from doTERRA? I think so. Yes. Okay. So it's the deep blue is the oil that helps with pain. So the busy little house. Do you use the deep blue, or are you a rep too? Good night, Mello. And you only need a wee bit, huh? Okay. So it's a cream. Okay. Yeah, Big Bear Homesteading is too. I'm actually considering going to their class. They've got a class coming up in May, but I think it may conflict with the Appalachian Homesteading Convention. So I got to kind of figure that out. Tip of your nose. I I think that the busy little house is just like me, and that's the only time she gets free is this late at night. But I'm learning that I can use the vlog time and the time with getting Elin involved in that as kind of not only like unplugging. I know that's still using technology, but using that into playtime and being able to get that done. Yeah, busy little house. I know how it is. Harvesting the bounty, you got it. Conventions with us, oils with Jess and my. Hey, we got it all. Okay, I'm reading other people's conversations now and getting a little confused. So anyway, guys, we're gonna go for say 10 more minutes and then we're gonna get off here. Okay, we still got 28 people on here, so that's awesome. Hey, another thing that we did, if you can share the videos that I've already put out. I am over halfway, and tonight's going to do another big chat. I'm over halfway on my time requirement for monetization. I think after tonight I'll be about 2,500 hours of viewing. So that is awesome. I think we've gotten quite a few Mims Garden thumbs up. I think everybody that's on here right now has hit the thumbs up. I may be wrong, but Living Miracle Homestead. Good night. So yeah, if you can share the videos and go back, and if you've missed any of them, watch them. Uh, I don't expect you to go back and watch these lives. They're so stinking long. Two bees, one flower. Good night. Um, go hit those up and watch them and see what we can come up. Um, I'm just kind of interested in see what it's all about. Stiver Homestead, I think, just got monetized, and I think he said that when we were at the seed swap, it's like they've earned $6. So pretty neat. Good night, Rainbow 505. Appreciate it. Get up in the morning, plant some food. That's what I'm gonna do too. Thank you, two bees, one flower. Traveling for fun. I hope we see you again. Go check out those other videos. If you really want to know the background on us, we went through a lot of it tonight. Check out the one that's called "How We Got Here." It's talking more on me. It's just a one-on-one. But if you want to see a little bit, just look on there. You'll find her. She's in the business mode to say to everyone. Yeah, these lives are great ways for you to come up for especially you smaller channels, and I'm a small channel still too. It's been amazing on how many hours. Like tonight, just the last one when we ended it, it was like 3 days worth of hours. So that's like 75 or 80 hours for that first part, and this one's going to be, goodness gracious, it's going to be 3 or 4 days on it alone. Thank you, busy little house. That is a good way to help people out. If you go on and just click them on and watch, put them on the auto deal. If you'll go to their actual page, put them on. You can look at the top; it'll run auto, and you can just turn them on as you're doing stuff, and you can listen and stuff as you go. The kids wanted to do a live, but I don't have the numbers for that yet, but it is good for testing purpose. Hey, harvesting the bounty. If you've got a laptop, you can still do lives. It's only 1,000 if you're doing it from your phone. So you can do lives if you're not doing it from the phone. That was a misconception by a lot of people. If you guys have, I was telling this the last time, I got a logistic, whatever, um, camera from Bargain Hunt. So if you have a Bargain Hunt around you, go check them out. David, that's true. You do have to have. You can't. I know one. I know one. I won't say the name of the channel, but they do a live every other day, and they just go on, turn it on, and put it on food. Um, and that's all they do. They don't talk. They just do it. They put it on there. But they have people that come on and click on it and just watch it. Yeah, we'll take some prayer requests, Linda, with Life with Linda. What you got? Um, that was a question I heard earlier, Carol, about the iPad. I think it depends on how it's hooked up. I got you harvesting the balance. It's hard sometimes to sit here and talk to people. Yeah, contented spirit. Cell phones. A lot of people are using just their cell phones. A lot of your content creators. One of my favorite shows to watch is called The Hoover Boys, and they do metal detecting. It's just one of my fun things when I get time that I don't want to do homesteading and I want to watch something else. It's called The Hoover Boys, and he films everything he does off of his cell phone. I think he's got an underwater camera he uses if they're in the water. Mims's Garden does all of her videos off her cell phone. Learn to turn it sideways. Don't try to do it holding it upright. I'm not techie either. That's why I do one shot. I don't try to edit a whole lot. I'm sure I'll get better at it as time goes, but you know, we're going to put in a prayer for you, Linda. Life with Linda. You go out with yours to the beach, harvesting the bounty. Please, I missed that one there. Please go check out chrisbeckcancer.com page for so many healing stories. Okay. Hey, my first videos were not cool at all. LOL. All your videos are cool, Mims's Garden. Thanks, Lena Rainer. We appreciate you being here. Carol, my mom's, like I said before, my mom was on the Social Security, not board, but the testing, the people that they tested for fibro to get it onto Social Security deal. And she's been on Lyrica and everything else and got to the point of where it was really affecting her. And she got on the CBD oil and she's off everything right now. And my mom struggled with it for 30 years now. So you might want to look into that. Good to go, Life with Linda. We will put it in there for you. That's a hard one. That one sneaks up on you and grabs you. How do you do what? Contented Spirit, I missed that part. I just got the how do you do it. And congrats on the 115 days. Life with Linda. You don't have to be techie to use your phone. Turn it on, hit the camera. It'll record, point it at what you want to shoot. Mama Bear said she was on 7 different pains due to pain, or pills due to pain. Off all but 2. That's awesome, Mama Bear. Life with Linda, that's the problem nowadays. We want to fill people up with pills from the doctor, and then we don't even realize that we're having the issues that we are. I did traveling for him. That important. B12, B6. Yeah, B12 and B6 are really good. Great job there, Mims's Garden. Again, yeah, go watch Two Family Homesteads on Tuesday. They have a tech show. Big Bear did it this week on editing. It was awesome. And they'll answer any question you get on there. The B Apiary, that's where we found each other. She was on there asking a bunch of questions about buying out all the .com, .net, all this stuff for her name. I can't read anymore. Must look away. Good night, busy little house. Go to sleep. All right. I lied. We're at 10 minutes right now. All right, guys. Say all your good nights to everybody. And love you all. Thank you for coming and joining me. We really, really appreciate that. I want to give it just a minute or two so everybody can say goodbye and stuff. And I'm going to end the live stream. Okay. And that's pretty good because my battery is getting ready to die as well. So good night to everybody. And we will see you tomorrow on something. Thanks to all my moderators. Go give them all a check. Hit the like button as you leave out the door if you don't mind. And we'll get going. God bless. Maybe it'll make it. You haven't forgot anything, Mims. Mims, Anna. The exercise thing's huge, Carol. All right. Bye.